So Sarthak's journey started with Dr. Jitendra Agarwal losing his eyesight, and subsequently he, of course, the first thing is a very depressive thought, but he pulled himself out of it. And by 2008, he said, if I, as a person who was, let's say, able once upon a time, and now he was differently able, he started saying that if I have got so much trouble in mainstreaming with the society, what will happen to all the people who are disabled in some form, but enabled in many other forms? So he started Sarthak way back in 2008. He started with corporate sensitization workshops across the nation. In 2018, he started building these centers. Now there are 22 centers as of 2021, I mean, current day. And Sarthak's main aim is basically through skill development, how we can empower our people with disabilities and get them employment. Can be employment as a wage employment, or it can be a self-employment. So entrepreneurship is part of that employment. In order to be able to reach out to a very large mass of people, I mean, we're talking of here that 2.6 crore people are currently seen as having a disability. And out of 2.6 crore, we have just about basically scratched the surface really. And this is across 7 disabilities. Now, Government of India, just about 1.5 years back, has classified another 14 disabilities. So there are now 21 disabilities. So there are more than nearly 10 crore people. And as per some UN report, it is estimated that nearly 15% of the world's population have some disability. So it's a very large mass of people. And without embracing them, I would not say that you just give them jobs out of pity and sympathy. But if we don't embrace them and accept them, then we'll have a very large part of the population, whether in India or in the world, getting excluded. So Sarthak's main aim, as I mentioned earlier, was to empower them through skill development. We've got 22 centers across India now. We've got a mobile app with Capgemini. They had funded us to create a mobile app. And we are trying to reach out to every part of India, every single disabled person we're trying to reach out to using Cap Sarthi app. So our target market literally is like saying 8-9 crores should be on that app. Of course, we just started. Start means 6 months back when we put around 10,000 people already enrolled there. And through this app, we are able to, let's say, provide them what are their rights, what kind of schemes work in whichever place they are in. Schemes might vary state by state or disability by disability. What kind of job opportunities are all coming up for them so they can apply for that. They can apply to Cap Sarthi and get themselves trained through Sarthak. Even matrimonial columns. Where will a person go for looking for a life partner? So here is one place through Cap Sarthi. Then we've got a lot of digital literacy programs called there's an LMS system that we have. We're creating content for that to be able to reach out to this large mass of people in this post-COVID era, because previously the centers that I mentioned, 22 centers, meant that they had to come to the center. It's a 3-month training program, maybe thrice a week, and they would be getting physically, let's say, trained in a classroom. But now we have kind of a hybrid model. The first is how do we reach out to them? Second, enroll them in some kind of e-learning. And the third is then we start taking them into giving them some corporate connects on where they can further their career. We also launched an IDEA platform. Now, IDEA is basically there are many NGOs doing very good work in their own small space, but they lack capacity. So Sarthak has taken the lead, and some 250 NGOs have come onto this IDEA platform where they can, let's say, work with Sarthak or maybe Sarthak's guidance and get to know, I mean, simple things like GST forms and FCRA approvals, etc. All the compliances, etc., which they may have not heard of or may not know how to do it. Sarthak helps them in that. So the idea is basically India, Divyangjans Empowerment Alliance. And we've also got Olympics is an Olympics of skills. That's going to be held next year in Russia in May. And for that, an Indian team has to be sent. And we have already selected people through regional rounds and through state rounds, set of people who are good in and can represent India. There are things like desktop publishing, the esports. There are some of these kind of trades where they can demonstrate their knowledge and skill set. So that is going to be next year. So what are the impact that we have created in 13 years? I just mentioned about the skill development. 22,000 people have benefited. We have nearly got people involved in nearly 1,000 plus partners across 15 states. We've got an early intervention center. There are more than 2,500 children that have been rehabilitated. These are children who may have a disability which can actually get worse in case it is not seen or remediated before 5 years of age. So our early intervention center takes care of some of those children, and through therapy and through counseling and through exercises, our counselors are able to take care of them. And there are 2 centers running in Delhi NCR region. Then I mentioned about IDEA, capacity building, and National Epileptic Society, where Dr. Jitendra Agarwal came onto the show in November last year. So Amitabh Bachchan actually appreciated that Dr. Agarwal had done. He even talked about GRC, a global resource center, which we are wanting to set up in Gurgaon. The Haryana state government has given us a piece of land there. And what does the GRC mean? It's a one-stop shop for all disabilities. R&D will be done there. There will be some kind of training, and any information you want on disability, we would like to concentrate in that one-stop shop, because there's none that exists in India right now. So that's one thing we want to really progress with a lot of enthusiasm. Of course, it will cost a lot of money. It's estimated to be 12 crores. It's going to be a 4-storied building with 2 basements. But that it is a necessity in India. We've organized job fairs where many of the reputed organizations come in, including the likes of Accenture and Cognizant and TCS, Wipro, Infosys. All of them have taken people from us. Then corporate sensitization program, I'll elaborate on that a little later. Now, this is our advisory board. We have a guru mentor, which is Dr. M.B. Athre, and he is a Padma Bhushan awardee. He is one of the first persons in India to have really done an MBA from Harvard, and that's why he got a Padma Bhushan award for that. Mr. Ranjan Chopra, he has been a big patron of Sarthak. He, in fact, pays for the office space and any kind of rental. For the last 8 years, he's been doing that to support Sarthak. And one of Sarthak's trainees is the IT head of Team Computers. So that's the way he's walked the talk. He's taken people in, he's groomed them, and some of them have really taken pride of place there. Now, what is Sarthak's connect with employers? So we have got job mapping done, where we need to know what kind of job roles are there and how do Sarthak's trainees fit in. Then recruitment, hiring for PWDs, accessibility support. How can you make your workspace more accessible to people with disabilities? Sensitization workshop. This is one, let's say, a very small piece of sensitization. We can do much more, and we'll talk about it in due course. Then advancement of PWD workforce, people who have into career developments, and how do we take them forward? And rehabilitation. Some people have actually lost jobs in this time because of COVID, and how do we make them come back to the normal workforce? These are the ways by which you can help our employers. And the companies that are empowering PWDs, Lemon Tree, 18% of Lemon Tree's workforce are people with disabilities. They have a mandate literally within the organization that anybody who joins in new has to learn sign language within 3 months. And they are doing so well now that Lemon Tree is like very keen on progressing with people, including with Down syndrome and other impediments. ITCs, Microsoft, Accenture, these people have got, in fact, Microsoft's got a separate website for job seekers. Bank of America and KFC, IBM, Cafe Coffee Day, Costa Coffee, all these people have hired PWDs in the past. Now, I'm here giving the job roles. This is to kind of tickle your mind also as to what job roles we have seen so far work well with PWDs. There are more people who can come in, but this is just to give you an idea, a flavor. So whether whatever sectors you have, like say ITES, graphic designer, software tester, data entry operator, coder, domestic voice processes. Let's talk of e-commerce, data entry operator, customer care executives. Amazon and Flipkart are regular hires from Sarthak. So these are people with locomotor disabilities. If I get time, I'll play a small video to show how people have been rehabilitated or given opportunities in such companies like Amazon and Flipkart. This is with hearing impairment. Again, so depending on what their disability may be, how we can accommodate or how can we can give them a good opportunity to prove themselves. And believe me or not, but they have actually been better than people with so-called no disabilities. Why so? They don't spend time on coffee breaks. They don't look at their WhatsApp. They're very loyal. They're very grateful for the work that's been given to them. So their productivity is higher, and they don't kind of leave an organization just because somebody else has given them $1,000 per month kind of extra salary. So their productivity being higher and their loyalty being higher, both ways, they serve their employers very well. And that is a consistent feedback we're getting from many different quarters for people with disabilities. Visual impairment, again, in Flipkart, we've got a packer sorter looking at it, ITES, software testers, and they've also gone into banking, financials, and financial services and insurance, beauty and wellness, and manufacturing. Even in manufacturing, in back office, they are very, very good. Autism spectrum disorder. So these are the four main, let's say, disabilities where we have been able to get corporates to take them, and there can be many more, and we are still looking at those. So as I mentioned, 7 disabilities has been expanded to 21. So there are new ones which Sarthak hasn't yet taken up, but would be looking at, like dwarfism, like MSSI, multiple sclerosis, and these are also disabilities where you can get them employed in the appropriate job role. We can start off with a sensitization workshop. So this is like a mini awareness. I wouldn't even say sensitization. So you can have various groups within UC, which we can address through sensitization workshops. We've done these sensitization workshops with a number of different corporates. And job mapping. So we kind of just study what all jobs you have as of now, and where PWDs can also work to help you and be part of your team. Then how do we train those PWDs as per UC's needs? That's the next step. Then we can have employee engagement or joy of giving week, which my colleague will just talk about after I finish this presentation. And you've got a donation drive, which you can also conduct through the UC app. Paytm had this some time back that every time you make a transaction or do something, that you contribute 1 rupee to, let's say, a company like Sarthak. Then popularizing UC services through CAP Sarthi app. It's not about only UC giving us that help, but we can also publicize through the CAP Sarthi app all UC services, that because we are now going to be reaching out to many more people. We already do, but I'm just saying in terms of this is straight to the person concerned, whether it's for his own use or maybe his family use, he can use UC services. Then CSR support to Sarthak's ongoing initiatives. GRC, I just mentioned, it would be great if UC can take care of maybe a floor, part of the floor, and there are various let's say, initiatives within Global Resource Center, which you can have a look, and whatever works better with your overall goals, that can be supported. These are some of our prominent partners. And you can see, Mahindra's, HDFC, they're all very, very, let's say, loyal partners to us. Capgemini. Then here again, number of Amazon and Flipkart, their Coffee Day. I'm sure you would have met somebody in Coffee Day across the counter who may not have been able to speak or is able to communicate through other means, and always with a smile. So that's the difference that these people can make in other people's lives.
नमस्ते, मेरा नाम राखी है, ये मेरा साइन नेम है और मैं अपने परिवार के साथ दिल्ली में रहती हूँ। जब मैं 12th में थी, मेरी एक दोस्त ने मुझे सार्थक के बारे में बताया कि वह एक ऐसी संस्था है जो दिव्यांग लोगों के लिए काम करती है, उन्हें फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट ट्रेनिंग और जॉब्स प्रोवाइड करती है। सार्थक ने मेरी बहुत मदद की है। जब हम एनरोलमेंट के लिए गए तब उन्होंने हमें समझाया कि ट्रेनिंग की क्या इम्पोर्टेंस होती है। उसके बाद ही मेरे माता पिता ने मुझे ट्रेनिंग के लिए अलाउ किया। ट्रेनिंग पूरी करने के बाद अभी मैं जॉब कर रही हूँ बिग बास्केट में। काम बहुत अच्छा है मेरा वहाँ पर।
शुरू से ही सुनती बोलती नहीं थी तो बड़ी टेंशन रहती थी हमें। आज मेरी बच्ची 15,000 से 20,000 तक तनख्वाह ले रही है, हमारे पूरे घर का खर्चा उठा रही है, बेटे से ज़्यादा कर रही है।
मैं सार्थक को थैंक्स बोलना चाहूँगी और आप सबसे ये रिक्वेस्ट करना चाहूँगी कि उनकी मदद करें ताकि वो हम जैसे और लोगों तक पहुँच सकें।
Hello, my name is Gaurav Banerjee, and right now I am working in Cognizant company. First of all, I want to thank Sarthak and its Campus Connect program, which actually provided me an opportunity to appear and get a job in an MNC company like Cognizant. It's really a great thing to get connected with Sarthak, and Sarthak, it provided people like us to appear, and the training which they provided really helped me a lot to crack the interview session. Thank you so much again, Sarthak.